Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today with a WWE Monday Night Raw 5-point preview. I know that honestly we have not done these a lot as of late, but we are heading into WWE Survivor Series 2018, and I've talked about this a lot. For some reason, the last few years, Survivor Series has been one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. And I know that honestly, we're heading into Thanksgiving time. And it is probably, that's when this channel goes off the tracks for honestly probably about at least 2 months. Thanksgiving and Christmas is crazy to me. I try to make videos as often as I can. I keep up with the 49er videos. I try to do all the wrestling videos that I can. But at the same time, this is the first time I've ever had my own shop. I don't know how busy it's going to be at my store, no matter how slow it really is compared to the stores that I've been to in the past. But we're heading into Survivor Series. We just came out of Crown Jewel. This is going to be a big episode of Monday Night Raw. We've got a new WWE Universal Champion. We've got Brock Lesnar. He is obviously not going to be on the show, but they are going to be hyping up that it is going to be Raw versus SmackDown at Survivor Series in 2 weeks. So Brock Lesnar is going to be taking on the SmackDown WWE Champion, AJ Styles. So there is probably going to be some sort of talk, whether if that is from Paul Heyman, or if they're just going to wait until next week to bring Paul and Brock in. Seeing how Raw is actually in England. I think it is in Manchester. So for them to make the trip from Saudi Arabia to England, they'd probably fly Paul home first. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it's going to be there. But for the members of the people that are on the Raw roster, I think that it honestly is going to be a little bit of a cluster when it comes to everything the fallout from Crown Jewel. Obviously, for people that saw the pay-per-view, one of the things that led to Braun Strowman losing his shot at the Universal Championship was Baron Corbin attacking him from behind with the WWE Universal Championship to start off the match, which led to the F5 Bonanza by Brock Lesnar. During this, when we get to Monday Night Raw, we're 2 weeks out. Definitely Stephanie is going to be handing the reins more than likely to Baron Corbin, who is in charge of Raw, to build a Survivor Series team that can beat SmackDowns. As of right now, nobody on the SmackDown team has been named, so he honestly has to find a way to build the best team possible. Off the top of my head, the best people that are not involved in matches as of right now would be Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, we've got Drew McIntyre, Dean Ambrose, and possibly Bobby Lashley would be the top 5 people on the Monday Night Raw thing. Baron Corbin already screwed himself with Braun Strowman by hitting him in the head with the back of the title. Why would Strowman want a team with Baron Corbin at the Raw versus SmackDown show? I know that this time of year everybody comes together. There really is no babyface and heel. It's only Raw versus SmackDown, but it wouldn't make any sense just days later after his shot at the Universal Championship that he gets hit in the head with the belt, and now he's just going to be like, oh yeah, we're cool, bro, I'll be on your team, we got to beat SmackDown. We've also got Braun Strowman basically turned on Ziggler and McIntyre to set himself up to be a babyface, leaving their team and going off on his own. We've already seen in Drew McIntyre's eyes that he thinks he's got a shot at being the guy to beat up Braun Strowman, and he wants to prove himself on the Raw roster. Ziggler thinks of himself as the best in the world, so why are they going to want a team with Strowman? We've also got Dean Ambrose on the Monday Night Raw team, who basically thinks that he's got a chip on his shoulder. He hasn't been being treated right. He's not the guy who's always the first come thought of being on championship matches. So it sort of means a lot like last year when you had Sami Zayn and you had Kevin Owens feel slighted that they weren't asked to be on the SmackDown team, even though at the time they were feuding with Shane McMahon, who is the captain of the team. So there is a lot that is going to revolve around the Universal Championship match, even though Brock probably isn't going to be in England because they're going to be trying to build that Survivor Series team. As we build towards SmackDown, this is going to be to Survivor Series. This is going to be the first time to have some sort of Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. I don't think that they're honestly going to do the full-fledged Raw versus SmackDown invasion that we've seen the last few years. They got made famous by bragging rights where just SmackDown comes in and just leaves everybody laying on the Monday Night Raw side. I know that they're both going to be in basically the same place. I don't think that this is being billed as a super show, and normally when they do the UK tour, even when Raw is going on, they normally have some sort of a SmackDown show, but I know that they've used like helicopters to get people back and forth to make sure that they're able to be on both shows, even if they're being used in dark matches, just basically to make each show seem bigger than it really is. When we talked about that Raw men's tag earlier, what's going to be even more sticky is when you start building the women's tags on the Monday Night Raw side, because on the Evolution show, as a 3-on-3 tag, we had the Riot Squad. We had Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott teaming up against Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Natalya. Honestly, in my mind, to make the 5-on-5 team, I don't think there's any team that's going to be stronger than Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Ruby Riott, Bayley, and Sasha Banks. I know at this time that you want to keep Nia Jax hot. Nia Jax just won that shot at the Evolution Championship. So, she won the Evolution Battle Royal to get a shot at the championship. So, in my mind, I don't see why Nia Jax is going to want to put anything on the line competing in this match. So I think that is going to be the team. You've got these 5 girls that basically beat the crap out of each other at the Evolution show. What's going to make them come together to want to fight against SmackDown? That's what's going to make that a little bit sticky. Hopefully we'll get some answers in the Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose feud. Is this just going to be a television feud? Is the tag titles going to be stripped? Are they going to be forced to team together? So with the whole Dean Ambrose turning on Rollins storyline, we need to get something going to make this make some sense at a time that they can't really have big matches on pay-per-view. And then, of course, they're building up something between Nia Jax and Tamina. That, to me, honestly, is a woman's feud that I don't think anybody's going to be really that thrilled about. But if they're writing stories about it on WWE.com, honestly, it's probably going to come to fruition sooner than later. Maybe they'll have a match, and maybe I'll just be proved wrong, where the winner gets to be the captain of the Raw women's team at the pay-per-view. So we'll see what goes down with that. Monday Night Raw tomorrow live from England, which means that, honestly, by the time I go to lunch, Raw is going to be Twitter, and all the results are going to be up, which means I ain't watching the show, and that's the God's honest truth. So, peace out, guys. I'll see y'all down the road. I'm sure we'll talk about it. It's something always big happens on these shows. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen.